Duce Ms.
Yeah, what up, Alex?
Yeah, man, I wanted to holler at you and ask you a few questions about MDC because I know you was incarcerated in that same facility some time back, and we just heard that Termaine Ashley Williams just got transferred to MDC. So I was wondering, what can you tell me about how the whole MDC system is set up?
It's a lot better than the LA County Jail. I can promise you that. But it's a structure that goes up by floors, right? So you have like R&D is the fourth floor, and then no inmates are housed below the fifth floor. It's the fifth floor up. You got 5 South, 5 North. Bricc Baby is on 5 South right now. 5 North is like the short timers. Might be like some white collar criminal dudes. They go outside, clean up. They go outside actually around MDCLA. Then you have 6 North, 6 South. Then you have 7 North, 7 South, 8 North, and 8 South. 8 North is the whole. And then you have 9 South, 9, and 9 North, which is like orientation. And then the females are located up there, right? So, but the meals is a lot better than LA County Jail. You ain't get no mystery meat. Everybody is pre-trial, unless they're back on a writ or appeal or something. And it's usually always packed. You get a lot of big indictments there. Think about all of the Hispanic gangs, Serenos, and the indictments that they get, Ricos, CCE, all of the big drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? I had the chance to be there with Baby Gangster, OG ENT. That was a really big indictment. The 38th Streets, the essays, they had a real big indictment. Tamer and Lewis, the ex-Kings, right? Louis Ziskin and Tamer Ibrahim. They ended up getting out and starting a tech company, right? But they were there with me on the floor with us. We did a lot of time together. So, but it's not like the county jail. As soon as you get there, you lining up faves. These are predominantly hustlers, money getters. You know what I'm saying? Go getters. You're going to have some rough dudes, you know what I'm saying? That the hitmen and the lieutenants in these $1 million organizations. But for the most part, it's a different mentality and more elevated mentality than those in the LA County Jail. But, yeah, man, cell living, the cell's pretty clean. You had the pool tables there. I think MDC took the pool tables before I left. I was kind of the cause in the riot. I was beating some essays with a pool stick, right? But and they ended up taking the pool tables, a little rec yard where they have like the machine weights for your legs, and a little dip bar, pull-up bar, and a half of a basketball court, like the half court is. And then on the other side, that was on the south side, on the other side of the wall, it would be the exact same thing with about 100 inmates on each side of the floor, you know?
Okay, now let me ask you about. Now you said it's not as rough as the L.A. County Jail, but 4 Pomona gang members were just found guilty of a stabbing they did in MDC back in 2020, where according to the FBI, they stabbed a dude that had a financial debt to a Mexican mafia member from Pomona named Michael Lerma. So my question is, how often does it go up like that in MDC?
Not as often as the county. You know, every day the county is activities as soon as the bus comes. But when it does go, it's usually something serious. Like I told you about that riot. Like I told you about that. It was another situation. We robbed a dude. It was a weed deal going bad. Me, Baby Time Bomb from 20s. Tiny Jimbo, rest in peace, from 20s. Nino Brim and Shady Dove from 20s. And Lily from Long Beach 20 Crip. We ended up robbing a dude who we thought had played us in a weed deal going bad. knocked him out, stomped him out. I had I was in a chicken riot up there against the blacks and the Southsiders over a piece of chicken, bro. So it definitely has its violence. Oh, there was a chomo that had came who was beaten to brain damage, right? So it's definitely going to have, if somebody, you got people that's going to stand on their business anywhere you go, you know what I'm saying? And or any disrespect, and it could go up. But it's usually going to be serious, exactly to how you just explained the guy that owned the Mexican Mafia. The dudes usually aren't doing too much fighting. If it's a removal or something, it might be a 3-on-1, but if it usually involves some knives and sticking. They play penitentiary up there. This ain't the county jail where you think you're going to fight one-on-one with with 6 dudes. With the dude, 4 extra say, he fought 25 days, and no. You'd be lucky if your own homie give you a fight. They're more than likely going to put that knife in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you basically said the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th floor sounds like general population. Is there a PC floor in MDC?
No, if somebody PC'd it up, which they usually don't even allow, except extraordinary circumstances, they'll be housed in a shoe, right? And because there is no real PC. In the shoe at that time, I was in the shoe. My last time in MDC, I was re-indicted before I went home, and I beat that indictment. But I was housed in a shoe coming from the Special Management Unit in Talladega, Alabama. In the shoe, you have Mexican Mafia dudes who they don't allow in general population, and more high-powered dudes that for that reason they can't go. But you have some pieces of shit like, that PC'd up, or maybe even some child molesters. But usually they try to get those dudes and hide them out in the cheese factory like Santa Ana, right? Or they might try to send them out to Kern County Jail, right? Not everybody that goes to Santa Ana or Kern County is, but that's just kind of like what they try to do. House them with places that MDCLA has those kind of housing agreements with, where even San Bernardino County CDC, not California Department of Corrections, that's one of their county jails. I think they got like Glen Helen, but they got CDC. There they hold, like, I think on 2 different tiers, they hold federal inmates because they got an agreement to house them there. But they'll try to hide them out, especially once they see that the gig is up. But I believe Termaine is going to have problems wherever he goes. He brought them on himself. He disrespected the 8 trays, the 5 tray Avalons, even amongst his own, where he claims he's from Rolling 60s. Him not being from Rolling 60 is going to be a issue. You know what I'm saying? And then him implicating people in crimes, like that's, if he told on himself, you self-snitching on yourself, that's on you, dodo, you got to do your time. But when you get to implicating other people into crimes, and that results in arrests and indictments that assist in procuring arrests and indictments, he's essentially a walking dead man. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he get caught. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you mentioned that Bricc Baby's on 5 South. Do you know? Do you know where Big U is housed at, and do you know where they're gonna put Termaine Ashley Williams at?
Well, I don't know where they're gonna put Termaine Ashley Williams, but Big U is on 6 South, right? And I was on 6 South before also. In fact, me and Pop LQ from out of the Rolling 60s was Sally's on 6 South. That's where we met when he had caught his indictment. But yeah, Big U's on 6 South. I don't know where they're going to put Termaine, but hey, good luck to him. You know what they say, you make up your bed, you got to sleep in it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see if all of that gangster stuff he was talking, whether he really lives up to that, or we're going to hear about him being victimized and rolling it up.
So
because he can't stay there no more.
So is the ninth floor where all new inmates go to, because that's what you identified as orientation?
Yeah, well, when I was there, that's where they kept all of the people from orientation, but they did have like strange dudes from out of state who I later found out were snitches on their cases. It was some dudes from Chicago. It was some Arabs who had a big pseudo-federation case. And I came to find out later that all of those dudes were housed there because they were cooperating, you know. So, yeah, they kind of like try to keep them up there, and also so that when new people come there, they can try to gain and gather intel about their crime, maybe even get a Rule 35B, you know what I'm saying? So you got people that's working to get out of prison that's housed in there.
Okay.
You know?
Now you mentioned the food is better in MDC than it is in the LA County Jail, but they just transferred Termaine from a facility in Nevada called Pahrump, where they give you like McDonald's, they order outside food. Is MDC like Pahrump in Nevada?
Hell no. But I went to Pahrump for about 3 days after I got re-indicted. And they brought me from Alabama. It's like a hub, right? And that's U.S. Marshals custody. You're not in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons at that facility. So that's why it's a little bit more lenient. That's why they got like PlayStations and what is it, 64? What's the other one? PlayStations and them games, big screen TVs, and it's definitely like a club fed type place. I've never been to a place like that before. So it's kind of like in the middle. MDCLA would be like in the middle from Pahrump and the LA County Jail. It would be like the medium in between, right?
But he ain't gonna be able to order pizza at McDonald's.
Nah, hell no. He'll be able to go to commissary, get his Federal Bureau of Prison approved commissary list, just like everyone else. He'll get the meals that everybody else gets. All of that is out. MDCLA, he's definitely going to realize that he's up against the United States of America's government and all of the federal resources that entails. Shit just got real.
Okay. Is there any what's the phone privileges like at MDC? Because I guess at Pahrump you can FaceTime, you can get the phone all day, all night. How does that change in MDC with the phones?
Oh well, throughout the Federal Bureau of Prisons, period, you only get 300 minutes a month, 15-minute calls, but you don't have to use the whole 15-minute. You can, ration your minutes to make them last out, but you have to sign up on the list. You get 300 minutes a month, except November and December. I guess the Bureau of Prison encourages better family ties with an extra 100 minutes during the holiday seasons, right? November and December. You have to sign up on the list to get on the phones. Yeah. They do now have the email system, which is not like our emails. It's kind of like controlled, because everything that's going to be done in custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons will be monitored. They're going to know. You have to fill out a bubble list, say for his side chick that he claims is his real wife, Sharice Mills, right? She won't be able to visit him because they're not married. So that's going to hurt, because you got to be immediate family. So maybe your mom, your sisters, siblings, your children. But a girlfriend, you might could get her approved, but it's harder at MDC to get her approved. But your wife, most definitely will be able to visit you. But even to call her, he's going to have to fill out what's called a bubble form. They'll give him his PIN number, maybe tomorrow or the next day, which is specifically only for him. It's connected to his federal number, right? So my number was 2369. Damn, I forgot it. 2369112. He have his federal number, and then his PIN to his phone he will keep for throughout his duration and his prison sentence. If he allows anyone to use his phone or he's caught using a three-way call, they will revoke his privileges, right? If he threatens Sharice Mills or Gigi, his real wife, they're going to hear that call and they can take his phone privileges for any amount of time. I think it's like 30 to 90 days. And if it's really serious threats, indefinite. If he tries to put a hit out and get someone harmed, the Federal Bureau of Prison will monitor everything to ensure that no crimes are being committed or facilitated on him, and any information he's putting out over the phone that is incriminating of himself or anyone else is gathered and turned over to federal authorities. So he's definitely be under close supervision. Not just him, but all inmates in MDC LA.
How do you think the Bureau of Prisons is going to look at him making phone calls to Sharice for the purposes of content to put on YouTube for monetization for financial benefit? Is there any rule or restriction against that? Because he's still innocent until proven guilty. But how does the BOP view that, if you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be sure on that. I know you do have a right to access media outlets, but profiting off of your crime and your victims might be in conflict or a violation of the Son of Sam laws. So, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. So I'm going to punt him and give him, he used his minutes. If she records the call and put it on for monetary gain, I don't see too much of a problem with that. But if he's talking about his case, if he's talking about his victims, I'm quite sure that the authorities are going to have a problem with that, because they might believe that he's trying to poison the jury pool. Like, that's a major argument I think Big U might have to look at also. You got to think, before they even arrested Big U, you had these guys, Christopher Lovejoy and Cash Jones, online talking about his DNA was found under a murder victim's nail. This morning I got a call from one of my homeboys that told me, man, Big U washed up. They found the DNA under his nails. And I had already addressed it when we read the paperwork, and it said that the DNA evidence was inconclusive, which means that they cannot match it, even though they say they could not rule out a match. But that's a major difference. And for them to bring that to social media before he faced an indictment kind of poisons the jury pool. And I believe that might be a problem Luce faces with what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how long will Termaine Williams be on the 9th floor orientation before he is sent to 5th, 6th, or 7th floor? And is there a certain, like, how do they choose whether you're going to 5th, 6th, 7th floor, north or south?
It's random, and obviously for security purposes, he might tell them that he wants to have a keep away, or the government, if he's already provided statements, or they're looking to utilize them in the future as a potential witness against others on his indictments, or in other cases, they might give him keepaways to where, say, visiting. He would never be at visiting at the same time Big U is down there visiting. Or if he had a keepaway against Bricc Baby, he would never be at visiting at the same time his family would have to wait until the hour visit is up with whoever is down there with the keep away. But as far as how long he'll be in orientation, I'm not even sure they still do that orientation on the 9th floor. You got to think that was like 2002. That February 2002, I was there. But even then, it was as soon as they get a bump. You know, if you have no keepaways or whatever, as soon as they got a cell where it's another black, they'll move you in there. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really go by gangs or none of that. Just another black, a cell open. They move you straight down there as soon as it comes into order. You know what I'm saying? So I think I was there maybe 3 days or 2 days at the most before they found me a bunk, but I had no keepaways. Me and all my co-defendants was solid except for unindicted juvenile co-conspirators. So he wasn't even in MDC with us. So,
okay.
But yeah, man, that he should be on one of those floors. Even if they don't, if they might not even have orientation on 9 no more, so he might go directly to it because I'm not sure Big U went to orientation, and I'm not sure Bricc Baby did. It seemed like they landed straight on those floors, so maybe they already had the bunks, or maybe they don't even do the orientation on 9 South anymore. So maybe if we lucky, we might have some content coming soon. If Luce Cannon runs into some of those 5 Trey Avalons or all of these other people he's disrespected and, disrespected their names, their homeboys. You know, there's accountability for that, and I hope that some of these clout-chasing children learn. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay the piper at some point, especially when you disrespect people, their families, and their neighborhoods, and you're doing crime. You know what I'm saying? You doing crime, there's a chance you might run into some of these dudes or their friends who's going to take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, you make up your bed, you sleep in it. Whatever energy you put into this universe, man, is usually the energy you reciprocate, man. So I try to minimize putting out negative energy, and but sometimes, when in Rome, you got to do as the Romans do, and that's the LA County Jail. And in Termaine's situation, that might be his reality sooner rather than later.
But before they were taken into custody, we saw Bricc Baby and Termaine, aka the fake Luce Cannon, doing content together, and it looked like they were cool, they were friendly, they were cordial. So if Termaine ends up on 5 South with Bricc Baby, it seems as if they're going to have a friendly interaction. That's just the way it looks like.
No, I think so too. I had talked to Bricc Baby. He FaceTimed me the day before he was arrested. And free Bricc, not the trick, man. I have a pretty good relationship with Bricc. And he was telling me, hey, man, send me some questions. I'm going to interview Luce Cannon. Mind you, this is the same day I dropped the video because Cowboy caught Luce Cannon at the gas station, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that he's going to be doing this interview online, you know what I'm saying, StreamYard or something. But unbeknownst to me, Luce Cannon was on his way to LA when he was caught. So, but anyway, so I had sent them those questions, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm trying to bring this dude back. He don't realize that Wack is lined him up. You know what I'm saying? Wack is trying to push everything on him and trying to make it seem like it was a rolling 60 versus a gangster situation, excluding himself and any of his crew's participation in his beating, in his robbery, and stripping of these 2 elderly dudes. You know what I'm saying?
So Luce tells him, you came up here for content, right? He says back to Luce, whatever, cuz how you want to put it, on gangster. Luce says, this on neighborhood. Okay, in this jungle, Adam, anything gangster crip, anything neighborhood crip is automatically enemies.
I heard.
Guess what?
We had a whole cigarette thing here.
Now guess what? That's crip situation going on, right? I'm a Pahrump. It's 2 men. So what do? I take a step back. That point in time, because if I get in the middle of it and one of them swing, my people activated. Then it's really fucked up, right? My people do different shit. They ain't playing with it, right? We ain't looking for no problems. We ain't starting shit, but it's gonna get fucked up. So I take 2 steps back.
I'm saying, I'm like, well, I said, I don't think you can play safe or try to, cater to these rats. You know what I'm saying? But that was his business, and I'm still thinking that he was doing it over the line. Then I see him on No Jumper that night, right? And then the next day, they were all arrested. Big U turned this stuff in, but the raid were early in the morning, and he was arrested. So, yeah, him and Luce Cannon might have already ironed out whatever differences they had. And I think that with the issues, obviously, Bricc knew was coming. He had got caught with them chopsticks. I think that he really wanted to focus primarily on what he was going to do moving forward, as opposed to get caught up in anybody else's beef or the gang beef. Especially, he felt he was in a winning position at No Jumper with Adam 22. So, and where everybody else was picking sides, oh, you got to pick a side. You either with Big U or you against the rats. I think that Bricc Baby was really trying to take a position at this point. Man, I'm a podcaster. This gang shit, I'm finna be going to jail. I need to focus on what I'm doing. I don't want to get caught up. I'm under investigation for other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna do nothing to nobody, unless I have to, And I just think that was his position. A lot of people ain't gonna look at it because he's for rolling 60s. He knew what he signed up for, and they gonna look at it. And I get that. But at the same time, he got to do what he think is best for him and his family without compromising his integrity and morals. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So my last question here is: you mentioned marriage rights and how Sharice is not married. Gigi's actually the legal wife, but Sharice does have a child by the fake Luce Cannon. So how does that work if they want to have family visits in MDC? And what's that process like?
She'll have to get approved. I forgot they just had that child. So they probably, because they have a child together, would do it like what is the old law, domesticated marriage? It was
common law?
Common law wife, right? So I think because they have a child, she will be able to get approved as the common law wife, and they live together too. So yeah, they're more than likely are going to approve her as the common law wife, and she'll be able to visit. Gigi, because they are actually married, would be more guaranteed to be able to get in there and visit them, because they are married and also got kids. And you have to send in a copy of the marriage certificate, the marriage license, and a copy of your wife's ID. And that was what I had to do. I was married at the time. Shout out to my baby mama, my ex-wife, man. But I was married at the time, and you have to submit that as well as a visiting form, which they run through the NCIC check to see if they have any criminal background, any warrants, et cetera, and they're cleared before they even get the opportunity to come visit. You know what I'm saying? So the visits is like once a week, across the table. You can hold them. It's not like behind the glass in the county jail. You can hug them when you come in. You can rub their hands, but you get correctional officers say you're getting a little too touchy feely. That'll intervene from that. He'll be able to hold his baby. He'll be able to hold his child. I was able to hold my son when he was first born. My baby mom didn't wait a week. She came up there with him. You ain't finna deny this. This boy look just like you, right? And so yeah, it's definitely going to be extensive background check. But now that I think about it, yeah, Sharice Mills will more than likely be approved.
Well, I don't think Gigi would even be interested in visiting him. Sharice is probably the only one that would visit him. Gigi's absolutely not going to go visit him or take their child to go visit him at all. That's based on my conversations with Gigi. She's not doing that.
Well, no, I can understand that. Why? If he didn't want to be in those kids' life at that time when he was free, then why would she go now that he's down and out, go out her way to try to force those kids and him into their life? You know what I'm saying? So, especially when he denied that they were his.
The crazy house. Yeah. She goes, so my husband is on this show with Sharice Mills. They have recently got married illegally. Are you guys married?
We are married.
Okay.
It's not illegal.
And she is pregnant. Were you pregnant?
Girl.
I have already filed for divorce since he first had his affair with her last year in May, but he refuses to sign the divorce papers, so says your alleged wife.
Girl, it's not real.
Okay.
She is delusional.
He has abandoned our daughter. Which is fine, but I asked him to sign over his rights, and I would request no child support. Well, he has refused to sign the divorce, custody papers, anything that keeps him lying to Sharice and everyone saying we are not married. You know, she says she knows we are married. She just didn't care, but both don't want it to be public to know, but don't mind bashing me publicly and denying his daughter publicly. Is it your daughter? Do you have a daughter with her?
I asked her to
Alleged.
do a paternity test.
Alleged.
For a whole year.
Okay.
Okay, so let me break it down.
Did you guys ever have a conversation about DNA? Was there ever any sort of question about him being the father of your child?
We went through IVF. We paid to have the baby.
What does that mean? Explain that.
So when I was younger, in college I had got pregnant and I had an ectopic pregnancy. So it damaged my fallopian tubes. So I can carry children. I just can't have them through intercourse. So we went through IVF. So we went through a reproduction fertility clinic and they took the sperm from his balls and put them in my uterus. Okay. And we made a child.
I'm laughing because that just means it's impossible for any other man to have gotten you pregnant.
Exactly. I mean, I think I sent you the videos of us and that's why I said, like, that's the reason why I'm like, you know, what I told you, before I do this, I wanted people to really, you know, look at the truth. Don't go take my word for it. I mean, he's in the video and it says on the screen, reproduction fertility clinic. And I have two videos, one before when they seen how many eggs were fertilized.
Okay, so from peak to peak or the same place both times. There, And then set. Excellent, 133, print twice. Wow. 2 times, one for me, one for patient.
So is that good?
It's perfect. We want anything over 120.
And then the second one, when we first went back after 30 days later and found out I was pregnant.
Okay. Oh my goodness, you got an 18.
Oh my God, I have an 18. That's you, baby. Look it. This is what mommy's doing and daddy's doing to have you. Going through a lot.
Awesome. I think you're cute.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. And this is your beautiful doctor who's helping us have you. She's the most amazing doctor ever.
And we're all wearing masks.
And we're all wearing masks so you can be healthy because it's COVID. It's 2021. It's February 26th. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I'm so happy. Oh my God.
You know, you're right about the child thing. Even though your child's too young to understand it now, as she gets older and as these videos are going to exist forever.
Exactly.
And she's going to see them.
Exactly.
And you have one child with him.
I have one child with him.
But what's sad is we got on a phone call with Nikki Carnikia.
Correct.
Who has two biological children. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 biological children. Mm-hmm. She was pregnant when they got married, and he adopted that child.
So I met her. Mm-hmm. We fucked. It was like, you know, having fun moments, right? Mm-hmm. Then I sent her back to the streets. Once I sent her back to the streets, she came back pregnant. When she came back pregnant, she was like, I'm 3 months pregnant. The math wasn't adding up. And I'm like, bitch, you was big as fuck. to be only 6 months. I started finding out she was at the crazy house and all this stuff. And I gave her a life that she wanted. But
So you took care of her and the baby.
yes, at first.
While she was pregnant.
While
at
she was-
first.
Okay.
'Cause
While she was
he
pregnant.
thought it was his.
But I
And the process that they went to because she couldn't have kids or had problems having kids, it was just despicable, man. That's a real degenerate piece of shit when I get to thinking about it.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate your insight on this federal system. Let the people know where they can tap in with you and when you do your show.
Oh yeah, well, you can tap in at Active Chucks on YouTube. That's the Damu Kiwe Conversation podcast. We also be on Clubhouse, Instagram at Active Chucks. The Damu Kiwe Conversations on Clubhouse, man. Tap in, show some love. The hottest content on the planet. We in the mix. Salute.